Question number 3, the Right Honourable Chris Hipkins.
To the Prime Minister, does he stand by all of his government statements and actions?
Yes.
Supplementary question.
I've got to ask this question again. How do we carry on from this point? Where a question that says, do you stand by all the government statements and actions? The answer is yes. What more can there be?
We might be wrong.
I was asking a supplementary.
Yeah, I know, but what supplementaries can you have to that?
Well, if you hold your breath, you'll find out.
Well, no, we'll give it a go, but we've got 4 questions today, primary questions that ask the same thing.
Why does he stand by Nicola Willis's statement that people who have lost their jobs, quote, shouldn't take it personally?
Yeah, it was very skillful. Well done. Sorry.
Mr Speaker, as that member knows, if you looked at the Finance Minister's comments in full, the reality is that the previous government spent $66 billion and made the cost of living crisis worse for low and middle income working New Zealanders. That is the legacy of the government that he led, and that's the context of the comment that she made.
Supplementary question. So why doesn't he think people who have lost their jobs should take it personally?
I think people who have lost their jobs are an incredibly sad thing. And the reason it's happened is because of his administration, because he actually didn't run the economy well. And when you don't run the economy well, you end up causing pain and suffering for low and middle income New Zealanders, and that's exactly what he did.
Supplementary question. Does he accept that for people losing their jobs, it's one of the most life-changing things that can happen to them, and that as Minister of Finance accusing those concerned about job losses of, quote, glass half empty thinking, end quote, just rubs salt into the wound?
I fully agree. Losing a job is incredibly causes a lot of distraughtness for lots of people across who lose their jobs. It's incredibly sad. It's a terrible tragedy, and I wish that member would take some responsibility for causing it.
Supplementary question. Does he still believe the economy is, quote, turning a corner, end quote, when every day 76 New Zealanders lose their jobs and 340 Kiwis give up and leave the country because his government is making things worse, not better?
Well, I'll just say to the member that the context for the situation that we're managing with the economy is it is tough times for New Zealand. It's been a very difficult time. We've had the biggest recession we've had since the early 1990s. We've had a post-COVID hangover, as you've just heard from the Treasury report of last week, that his government made worse, driving up inflation and interest rates, putting the economy into recession, and people now losing their jobs. And you've seen good growth at the back end of last year, you've seen good growth at the beginning of this year, and since April, there has been a loss of confidence and sentiment around the world and in New Zealand as a function of the tariff announcements in April. This is a government that is doing everything it can to drive economic growth and will continue to do so.
Supplementary question.
Just, before the members start, just rare and reasonable.
Does he stand by his decision to pause, delay or cancel construction projects, decisions that have actively made things worse and put 18,000 construction workers out of work since he became Prime Minister?
Well, I'd just say to the member who I think we should start calling the $66 billion man, because when I grew up as a kid, there was a show called The $6 Million Man, and this member is the $66 billion man, is the way to think about it. But we have got $206 billion worth of infrastructure pipeline. This is a government that has announced $6 billion worth of infrastructure projects with people on the end of the shovels before Christmas. This is a government, if the member cared deeply about construction jobs, why doesn't he reverse his decision on fast track?
Supplementary question, Speaker. If things were so much better under his government, why were there 7 times as many state houses under construction in 2023 compared to today? And 6 out of 10 construction firms who were previously building state houses have now exited the market?
Well, I'd say to the member that we have gone through a period of time caused by his previous government that has actually put the New Zealand economy into recession. His actions drove up interest rates that had a huge devastation on the construction sector. They can't borrow money when interest rates are high for development and new projects. But this is a government committed to doing more building of classrooms across the school. This is a government committed to doing more roads of national significance. And if the member really cared about it, get him behind, support fast track and RMA reform.
Supplementary. Has he found a single family who's received the full $250?
Sorry. Someone was speaking then while the question is being asked. That person may well want to put their head down, but
Speaker,
beg pardon? I haven't asked you to be quiet.
apologise. I was talking to my colleague and I'm very sorry.
Right, well then, your apology is sort of accepted, but don't make a habit of it. When everyone is quiet, the Right Honourable Chris Hipkins.
Has he found a single family that has received the full $250 extra a fortnight that he promised them during the election campaign?
I've spoken to many families up and down this country who so greatly appreciate the tax relief that this government provided. Not an ideological concept, lifting tax thresholds, but again, he failed to support it. I've also spoken to many families who are very grateful for our family boost, helping offset expensive early childcare costs. Again, simple process, encourage everybody to get on My ID and get it done.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Just a moment.
It was a relatively straightforward question as to whether he's been able to identify a single family that's received the $250 a fortnight that he promised them. I think anybody objectively listening to that would have no idea what his answer to it was.
Well, I certainly don't, because there was a lot of noise coming from my left that prevented me from hearing it. So I can't make a judgment on it, but you have, I think, made your point. Do you have another supplementary?
No, that's it.